Lesson 6. So our learning target today is I will find 1, 10, and 100,000 more and less than a given number. So today we're going to begin with the following problems. These are our first do's because they are the most important. We're going to begin with problem 1A, 1B, 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D, 4A, and 4B. So we're going to skip around a little bit. Once we get to the end of 4B, then we're going to go back to all the ones that we skipped. All right, so we're going to start right here with 1A. Go ahead and write your name, and let's take a look at the directions. First, it says label the place value chart. I want you to go ahead and pause the video and label your place value chart, and I'm going to label mine too. Okay, so let's take a look at our place value chart and let's make sure that our labels are the same. So we have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, and millions. Now it says use place values to find the sum or difference. Write the answer in standard form on the line. So we've got to know, what does sum mean? Well, hopefully you thought to yourself, sum is the answer to an addition problem. What does difference mean? Well, difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. So we're going to be finding the answer to addition problems or subtraction problems, and then we're going to be writing it on the line. So we're going to be using place value disc. So we're going to have to do 10,000 more than 605,472. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to model 600s. So I'm going to go to the hundreds and I'm going to put 600s. And then I'm going to put 5,000s. So I'm going to go to the thousands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 400s. 1, 2, 3, 4. 72. So that will be 7 tens, 2 ones. So I've got 600,000s, no 10,000s, 5,000s, 400s, 7 tens, and 2 ones. Now it says 10,000 more. So does that mean that I'm adding 10,000 or does that mean that I'm taking away? Well, if I'm putting more, that means that I'm adding. So I'm going to change my color just so that you can kind of see that I'm adding this. So I'm going to go to the 10,000s place and I'm going to add 1,000. So now instead of having no 10,000s, now I'm going to have 1. So notice, none of the other digits changed. The only digit that changed in this case was the 10,000s. So now I'm going to write this answer in standard form on the line because that's what it tells me to do. And my new number is 615. The comma tells me to say 1,472. Okay, let's try B. All right, so again, you need to label your place value. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to label my place values, and I want you to go and label yours also. Okay, so again, we're going to come through here and we're going to label the place value chart. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to label my place value chart, and I want you to label yours as well. Okay, so let's check our labels. You should have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions. So this time it says 100,000 less than 400,000 plus 80,000 plus 1,000 plus 30 plus 6. So let's begin the 100,000s. It says here we have 400,000. So let's come through here and put our 400,000s. Then it says we have 80,000s. So is that 10,000s or thousands? Let's see, do I want to put 80,000s here? Ooh, that would take a long time. I think I'd rather put 8 10,000s because this would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80,000. That's a lot faster. And then I have 1,000, 30. So that would be 3 tens plus 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I have 4 in the hundred thousands. I have 8 in the 10,000s, 1 in the thousands, no hundreds, 3 tens, and 6 ones. So 400,000 plus 80,000 plus 1,000 plus 30 plus 6. Now it says 100,000 less. So am I going to add to or am I going to take away? Well, if it says less, that means I'm going to take away. And I'm specifically going to take away 100,000. So I'm going to go to the 100,000s and I'm going to take one away. And I'm just going to put an X over it. So now instead of having 1, 2, 3, 400,000s, now I only have 300,000s. So when I take and subtract 100,000, the only digit that changed was the 100,000s place. So now my new number is going to be 381,036. All right, so remember we're skipping C. We'll come back and we're skipping number 2 and we're going straight to number 3. So find number 3 in your problem set. Okay, so this time they've taken away our place value chart. And now we're going to try to add just by looking at the digits here. So I've got 40,000 and I'm going to add 10,000. So where is the 10,000s place? Well, hopefully you said the 4 is in the 10,000s place. So if I'm adding 1 10,000, then the 10,000s place is going to go up a digit to 5. Nothing else is going to change. I just added 1 to the 10,000s place. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at B. So this time we're not adding, we are taking away. We are taking away a 10,000. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to find the 10,000s place. Which digit is in the 10,000s place? Well, hopefully you said the 2. So I'm going to take away 1 from the 10,000s place. So now instead of having 2 10,000s, I'm only going to have 1. So my new number will be 11,195. Let's take a look at C. So I have 999,000 plus 1,000. I'm going to draw a place value chart down here. And you don't have to draw this place value chart. I just want you to look at this place value chart with me. Okay, because we're going to talk about what happens whenever you add 1,000 to this number. This number is kind of special because it has all of these 9s. So I have 1s, 10s, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, and then I have millions. I hope that you can read that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put 9 in the 100,000. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 in the 10,000s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 9 in the thousands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have no hundreds, no tens, and no ones. Now it says that I'm adding 1,000. So I'm going to come in here in red and I'm going to add 1,000. So look at what happens. I have 9 100,000s, 9 10,000s, and I have 10 thousands. So how would I read that number? 990 10. That doesn't sound right, does it? That doesn't sound right because it's not right. We shouldn't have 2 digits here. We learned from lesson 1 that when I have 10 to the place to the right, I can bundle those 10. So let's bundle these 10 and I can move it to the left. So I'm going to move it to the left and I'm going to add 1 to the 10,000s. So now instead of having 10,000s and 9 10,000s, now I'm going to have 0 thousands because I bundled them all together, and I'm going to have 10 10,000s. So let's see how you read that. 910,000. 910,000. Doesn't sound right, does it? We need to bundle these 10 together and we need to move it to the left. So now I'm going to have, instead of 10 10,000s, now I'm going to have 0 because I bundled them together. And instead of having 900,000s, now I have 10 100,000s and 0 10,000s. So here again, I have 10 in this one place value. So I'm going to bundle these 10 together and I'm going to move it to the left. So now, instead of having 10 100,000s, I'm going to have 0 100,000s and 1 million. I still have no hundreds, no tens, and no ones. So when I take 999,000 and I add 1,000, I get this number, which is 1 million. Okay, let's take a look at D. D is a little bit simpler. So again, we're going to take a look at our symbol here. Our symbol says minus. So that means I'm going to take away. I'm going to take away 100,000. So which of these digits is in the 100,000s place? Well, that would be the 1, right? So if I take away that 1, I'm going to be left with no 100,000s. So I could write this number with a 0 here. But usually when there's a 0 here, we leave that blank and we just go with the 10,000s. So our new number is 29,231. Okay, we're going to skip E and F for right now and come back to those in a minute. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to 4A, and we're going to fill in the empty boxes to complete the patterns. So we're looking for patterns. We're looking for changes in the numbers. So right now they've given us 3 numbers. What do you notice about these numbers? How are they alike? How are they different? Well, I hope you said that they are different in the 10,000s place. If that's what you said, you are correct. If you look here, this was 5 in the 10,000s place, and now it has a 7 in the 10,000s place and a 9 in the 10,000s place. So if I was going to fill in the next number, it looks like this goes from 5 and then it skips and goes to 7. So are the numbers getting bigger or are they getting smaller? They're getting bigger, right? So we're adding a 10,000. So if I add 1 to this 10,000, instead of having 150,000s, I would have 160,000s 10, because nothing's going to change in the hundreds place, in the tens place. All right, so let's try the next one. So let's add 1 more to the 10,000s place. That would give us 180,000 10. And then if we added 1 more, we would have 190,000. So now here we have one of those 9s. So I know if I add 1 more to 9, I'm going to end up with 10. But anytime I have a group of 10, I'm going to bundle and I'm going to move it to the place to the left. So instead of having 10 in the 10,000s place, I'm going to have 2 in the 100,000s place. So I'm going to have 200,000s. I'm going to have no 10,000s because I bundled them all. No thousands, no hundreds, 1 10, and no ones. So it says explain in pictures, numbers, or words how you found your answers. So it's not asking us to come through here and say how we got this answer and this answer and this answer. It's basically wanting to know, how did we know how to fill these in? I'm going to use words this time. I could draw a place value chart and show how they're adding 10,000 every time. That would work, but I'm just going to use words this time. And I'm going to say, I found my answers by adding 1 to the 10,000s place. That's my dog. I don't know what she's doing. Add 1 to the 10,000s place. That's an apostrophe, by the way. All right, so let's take a look at B. Okay, so this time, let's look at the numbers. We're looking for patterns. How are these numbers the same? And how are they different? Well, I noticed that the last three digits are the same. Actually, the last five. The last five digits are the same in all of these numbers. The only place that's changing is the largest place, which happens to be the hundred thousands. Are the numbers getting bigger or are they getting smaller? They're getting smaller. So instead of adding, we are taking away. What are we taking away? We are taking away 100,000. So if I have 800,000s here and 700,000s here, I want you to see if you can do these two places all by yourself. Pause the video and see if you can figure out how to do that and then come back. Okay, so hopefully you paused the video and you wrote answers very close to mine. You can see that the only place that I changed was the 100,000s. I went from 800,000s to 700,000s to 600,000s to 500,000s, then it would be 400,000s. Now, when I do this very first number, I'm going to have to work backwards because I'm not really taking away 100,000. When I go to the very first one to figure out what this is, I would actually have to add 100,000. I want you to think. Think about what number you think goes there. Let's go ahead and pause the video and see if you can't figure it out. Okay, did you figure out that the very first number was 998,756? I had to work backwards, so instead of subtracting 100,000, I added 100,000. So again, I have to explain in pictures, numbers, or words how you found your answers. So this time, just for fun, I'm going to use numbers. Now, I don't have to show numbers how I solved every one of these, but I am going to show how I went from 798,000 to 698,000. So I'm going to say 798,756. And every time I was taking away how much? I was taking away 100,000 equals 698,756. So I'm also going to just go ahead and say the pattern is 100,000 less. That's what the pattern is. Every number is 100,000 less. I know that your problem set still has several problems left for you to do, but I want you to know that it is okay if you stop right here. If you would like to do the rest of this page and then watch the rest of this video to see how to correct and how to answer those questions, you're more than welcome to, but you are allowed to stop right here, especially if you're running out of time. Okay, now we're going to go back to the very front of your problem set, and we're going to go back to problem 1C. So I want you to go ahead and fill in your place value chart, and then come back after you've written your labels, and let's check together. Okay, so let's check our labels. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what's going on here. 230,070 is blank than 130,070. So we could do this one of two ways. We could start with 130,070 and change it to 230,070, or we could start with 230,000 and change it. So let's go ahead and start with this one since it's at the beginning. So we've got 200,000s, 3 10,000s, no thousands, no hundreds, 7 tens, and no ones. So we're going from 230,070 to 130,070. So what happened? Did they add to the number or did they take away? Well, look at how these numbers are different. They change into 100,000s place. The 100,000s place decreases by 1. So I'm going to change to red here. So they actually took 100,000 away so that instead of having 200,000s, they would have 100,000. So what would we say here? We have 230,070 is blank than 130,070. Is 230,070 more or is it less? Well, it's more. How much more is it? It's actually 100,000 100,000 more, and it's okay to abbreviate that. So let's see if that makes sense. 230,070 is 100,000 more than 130,070 because we actually had to take 100,000 away to get to the last number. All right, so now we're going to number 2. So we're going to use the RDWW process. Read, draw, write a number sentence, write a word sentence. Lucy plays an online math game. She scored 100,000 more points on level 2 than on level 3. If she scored 349,867 points on level 2, then what was her score on level 3? Use pictures, words, or numbers to explain your thinking. Well, since I'm hearing a comparison, I'm thinking we could use a tape diagram. We could compare level 2 to level 3. It tells us here that she scored 349,867 points on level 2. So I'm going to go ahead and label this 349,867 points. It tells us she scored 100,000 more points on level 2 than on level 3. So that tells me that level 3 should actually be less. It should be 100,000 less. So what kind of number sentence would I write to show what the answer is here? Am I adding these two numbers? If I add them, is it going to give me a smaller number? No, I need to subtract. I need to take 349,867 minus 100,000. So I've learned in this lesson today that if I take away 100,000, I can go right to the 100,000's place and I can subtract 1. So instead of 3, I'm going to have 2. So my answer is going to be 249,867. So now I'm ready to write a word sentence that answers the question. The question was, what was her score on level 3? So I would say Lucy's score on level 3 was 249,867 points. Okay, so now we're going to go back to number 3, but this time we're going to do E and F. Now you'll notice that E and F are written a little bit differently. Look at where your equal sign is. Here we have an add-in plus an add-in equals a sum. Add-in plus add-in equals sum. Here we have sum equals add-in plus add-in. So we have to figure out what did they add to 22,000 to get 122,000. So it's kind of like we're working backwards. You could think of this problem as this. So if I erased really quickly, this problem is the same as 22,000 plus blank equals 122,000. They just wrote the sum first. What did they add here? What changed? Well, all of the last 5 digits are the same. But in this number, we had no 100,000s, and in this number, we have 100,000. So they added 100,000. Sorry, my cat and my dog are chasing each other right now. They don't care that I'm making a video. All right, so let's take a look at the last one here. So this is the same way, okay? So we can think of this as 39,018 minus blank equals 38,018. So what changed in these two numbers? The thousands place, right? Did it increase or decrease? It decreased. That's why we have the subtraction. It decreased by 1,000. So my answer here is 1,000. Okay, now we're going to go to problem number 4C. And again, we are finding a pattern. So let's take a look at what has changed. Our 7 and our 4 are the same in every single number. The digit that has changed is the thousands place. So here it's 4, here it's 3. I bet you can figure out what this number is and this number is. And this is a bonus. See if you can figure out this one by yourself. It's a little bit tricky, but I bet you can do it. If you get stuck, just press play. All right, so let's take a look at the first two. So I'm just decreasing the number by 1,000. So here we had 743,369. This is 742,369, 741,369, 740,369. Did you figure out what the last one is? It would be 739,369. You actually had to change both of these digits because nothing comes before 0. So you had to think to yourself, what comes before 40, which would be 39. So, okay, I'm going to have to let the cat out. Okay, so again, we can use pictures, numbers, or words to say how we found our answers. Let's go with words, and let's just say here that the numbers, are they increasing or decreasing? Well, because they're getting smaller, they are decreasing. The numbers decrease by, what are they decreasing by? Well, since they're changing in the thousands place, they decrease by 1,000 each time. All right, one more problem. All right, so again, let's take a look at what's changing here. Now this one's a little bit tricky because we don't have the first one, and then we're missing these two here in the middle. So we almost have to work backwards. I'm noticing here that I have a 7 in the 10,000s place, and here I have an 8 in the 10,000s place. So if I work backwards, what do you think would be here? If this is 7 and this is 8, then this would be 9. So we're adding 1 to the 10,000s place. Okay? But if I try to add 1 to the 10,000s place, that's going to give me a 10. So what happens when I get a 10? I'm going to bundle it, right? So if I have 10 in the 10,000s place, if this is my 10,000s, what is to the left of it? 100,000s. So if I bundle these 10 and move it to the 100,000s, now I'm going to have 100,000, no 10,000s. How many thousands am I going to have? I'm still going to have 8, and then I'm going to have 900s, 110, and no ones. There shouldn't be commas here. All right, so my number is 108,910. Okay, so we're still just adding 1,000. So look at this one. We went from 7 to 8 to 9 to 10, or you could say we went back to 0. Here we're back to 1, or you could think of this as 11. 11 10,000s. So what would this be? If this is 11, then this would be 12 10,000s, 8,000s, 900s, 110s, 01s. Or you could think of it just changing in the thousands place. So the 100,000 stayed the same and the 10,000s changed. So this time let's use words. Were the numbers increasing or decreasing as you went this way? We worked it backwards, but if you go the right way, what's happening to the numbers? They are decreasing. So we're going to say the numbers decreased by, and which place were they decreasing in? They were decreasing in this place, and this is the 10,000s, by 10,000 each time. So remember today, we were talking about adding 100, 1,000, or 100,000, or decreasing numbers by 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000. So hopefully you can remember to do that when you pass your exit ticket.